Like any sport, tennis is bound to bring some shocking, unexpected results, and we had our fair share of that in 2024. So, since I've been in the countdown mood lately, I decided to compile a list of the 10 biggest upsets from pro tennis from this past season. Hey, I'm Christian Bass Knight, and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. If you have not yet already, make sure you subscribe and click that notification bell so you're notified whenever I post my 2025 prediction videos. Starting off at number 10 is Alexei Popyrin's 4-set US Open win over the defending champion Novak Djokovic in the third round. This was a big shock to a lot of people, but low-key I saw this coming. They actually met twice in slams this year, with Novak taking both of those matches in tight 4-setters. However, I believe that Alexei could finally get over the hump and have the confidence to actually take down the Serb this time, as he was riding high off of winning his maiden 1000 title a month prior in Canada, and he beat 5 top 20 players en route to that trophy. Meanwhile, the US Open was Novak's first tournament since he achieved his greatest career triumph, which is of course winning that Olympic gold medal. Nole didn't look that sharp in the US Open in his rounds prior, but the Joker is known for raising his levels whenever he needs to against tougher ranked opposition. That's why the last time he failed to make a slam second week was the 2017 Australian Open. Popyrin, meanwhile, he had never made a slam second week in his entire career. The first set was crucial in deciding the outcome for this match. Djokovic fumbled 4 break points, and some of that was due to Popyrin's clutch play. Popyrin simply outplayed Novak for this match. The Aussie was unrelenting from the ground, and he hit a total of 50 winners. Novak, meanwhile, never really looked comfortable out there, employing a variety of tactics like serve and volleying, slicing, and varying paces and stuff, but none of that worked. Djokovic said after the match that Popyrin played better and deserved to win, but that he himself played some of the worst tennis of his life this tournament, particularly on serve. He did give Popyrin 14 double faults, so that's not really an exaggeration. The loss also meant that it was going to be the first season since 2017 where Novak did not take home a major. Djokovic's absence definitely opened up the bottom half of the draw at the Open, as he was the only slam champion remaining in that part before this match. Popyrin, meanwhile, did not take advantage of the win, as he lost the very next round to Frances Tiafoe. Number 9 is Mira Andreeva's quarterfinal victory over second seed Aryna Sabalenka at Roland Garros. I thought we were going to be set for a Rybakina-Sabalenka semifinal heading into this day, as both Elena and Aryna looked completely in dangerous form, as neither woman dropped a set en route to the quarterfinal round. However, after Jasmine Paolini toppled Rybakina in the first quarterfinal of the day, Aryna looked more of a shoo-in to reach the finals, and the Belarusian was on a run of making 6 straight slam semifinals. Aryna also held a spotless 8-0 record in major quarterfinals and didn't drop a set in any of those previous 8 quarterfinal matches. Andreeva, meanwhile, was playing her maiden first slam quarterfinal. Aryna was a heavy favorite in this match, not only because of her far greater experience, but also she dominated the Russian in their previous affair when they met a month ago in Madrid. There were early signs of Sabalenka scoring another straight sets win over Andreeva as she broke early for a 2-love lead. But things took a bizarre turn as Sabalenka threw in some double faults to hand the break right back, and she lost 5 of the next 6 games. Sabalenka took a medical timeout soon after, clearly struggling with some type of stomach problem. Aryna had never retired from her tennis match in her pro career, and she was clearly not trying to break that streak. She downed some Coca-Cola and took the opener in a tiebreaker. Sabalenka looked on her way to another straight sets win, breaking Andreeva early in the second set, but the stomach bugs clearly returned, and Andreeva took advantage of that, winning the second set and ending Aryna's streak of 23 straight sets in majors. Andreeva improved her level even more in the third set, while Sabalenka continued to struggle physically. Despite a back and forth decider, Mira sent a final lob winner over the world number 2's head to become the youngest slam semifinalist in over 26 years. This was a big upset because few people expected Mira to beat Aryna with how well that Sabalenka was playing in the tournament leading up. It's hard to deny that Aryna's illness played a major factor here, but she still wasn't totally debilitated. She still played rather decent tennis, and credit should be given to Mira for dealing with her nerves and getting the job done. Number 8 is 112th ranked wildcard Arthur Cazaux, defeating 8th seed Holger Rune at the Australian Open second round. The 21-year-old Cazaux, while ranked outside the top 100 at the time, was high on momentum after lifting a challenger trophy a couple of weeks prior. Rune had decent confidence himself after making the Brisbane final at the start of the year. Heading into this match, the Dane was chasing his 100th career tour level win. Cazaux, meanwhile, only had 2 tour level wins to his name before the match, and the second of which came in the opening round of the Aussie Open against Laszlo Djere. Rune also recently hired 2 big-name coaches in Severin Luthi and Boris Becker, and he looked primed for a deep run at Melbourne. But Rune's super team could not crack the code against Cazaux, who fired 51 winners and blasted 18 aces to complete the victory in 3 hours and 22 minutes. Rune didn't even play that bad in this match, to be honest. Cazaux was just unbelievable, and he showcased some of that French flair, flying all around the court, coming up with some incredible shots. In hindsight, maybe this shouldn't have been such a surprise that Cazaux won, as he beat Holger 5 out of the 6 times they played in the juniors. Arthur followed up the Rune win with a dominant straight sets win over Talon Griekspoor in the round prior before falling in the 4th round. Rune split with Severin Luthi and Boris Becker soon after the match, and he had a pretty underwhelming season. Although Rune did get revenge over Cazaux in the final tournament of the season, the Paris Masters, beating him 3-6, 6-3, 6-4. My 7th biggest upset of 2024 is Andrei Rublev falling to 122nd ranked Francisco Comensagna in the Wimbledon opening round. It's really not the biggest surprise that Andrei lost early at Wimbledon, because even though he was number 6 in the world, not many people look at the Russian as a true slam contender, as he has never progressed past a major quarterfinal. However, this win makes the list because of who Andrei lost to, as Francisco Comensagna didn't have a single tour level win to his name before this match. But Francisco played the match of his life on number 2 court, which is also dubbed as the graveyard court, as a lot of top seeds have been upset here at the championships over the years. The Argentinian put on an incredible serving display, firing 21 aces, and he was also very clutch too, as he saved 8 of 10 break points faced. Rublev, meanwhile, was clearly frustrated from his decline in form after winning Madrid, as he inflicted more harm onto himself in another just terrible outburst. Comensagna claimed his 2nd tour level win the round prior, when he outlasted Adam Walton in a 5-set marathon before bowing out to Lorenzo Musetti in round 3. Francisco clearly likes to peak at the majors, as his next 2 tour level wins came at the US Open, where he upset Ugo Humbert in the 2nd round, and that was his last tour level win of the season. At number 6 is Linda Noskova, who eliminated top seed Iga Swiatek at the Australian Open 3rd round. Iga barely survived an upset in the 2nd round against Danielle Collins, where she clawed back from 1-4 down in the 3rd set to down the 2022 finalist. Swiatek looked primed to take advantage of her second life here, as she looked in firm control over the Czech, winning the opening set 6-3. Iga had a few looks at breaking in the 2nd set, however the Pole missed a makeable second serve return to relinquish that chance, and ironically enough, Iga's return was one of the main reasons and the main shots that let her down badly in this match. Noskova, meanwhile, only elevated her level and took control of the baseline exchanges, getting Iga on the move more and preventing her from dominating with that lethal forehand. Linda also did a good job of attacking the weaker Swiatek's second serve, and after 2 hours and 20 minutes, she sealed the biggest win of her life after another missed return from the world number 1 sailed long. This loss was more surprising to me than Iga's Wimbledon 3rd round loss to Yulia Putintseva. Iga was really never that strong on grass, and Putintseva was always a dangerous floater to me, especially on that surface, and I kind of called that upset. Meanwhile, with this Noskova loss, Swiatek was on a 18-match winning streak. Swiatek's loss was major in opening up the draw here too, as Victoria Azarenka was the only slam champion remaining in the top half by this point. Noskova, who became the first teen to defeat a number 1 woman at the Australian Open in 25 years, finished with a quarterfinal run, losing to Yastremska. Starting off the top 5 is Antti Shuai Zhang, ranked 595th, beating world number 8 Emma Navarro in the China Open second round. Zhang was riding a 24-match losing streak heading into this China Open, and that was the second longest for a woman in the Open era. Shuai had not won a match since the 2023 Lyon Open, where she was ranked 23rd at the time. Auntie Zhang finally snapped that losing streak after taking out McCartney Kessler in the opening round. Navarro, who had a first round bye in this penultimate 1000 tournament of the season, was enjoying a career high of number 8 after reaching her maiden slam semifinal at the US Open. Navarro did not bring this same form to China as she was off her game. Zhang, meanwhile, played by far her best tennis in years, crushing 26 winners to just 11 unforced errors. This was a poetic win for Zhang, as nearly 15 years earlier she scored her first top 10 win when she beat world number 1 Dinar Safina at the exact same round of the exact same tournament, the China Open. Auntie had a nice little run here too, and she finished with a quarterfinal showing. Zhang is 35 years old and is ranked outside the top 200, so I don't know how much longer she has left in her, but at least she overcame that losing streak, because that's a massive feat in itself. Number 4 is world number 57 Aryna Sabalenka, taking down world number 3 Aryna Sabalenka in the Australian Open second round. Aryna was last year's runner-up in Melbourne and was arguably the title favorite after her emphatic win at the Brisbane lead-up tournament, where she only dropped 3 games against world number 2 Aryna Sabalenka in the final. Sabalenka got by a tough opening round test against 2-time Slams finalist Karolina Pliskova. However, she was bundled out by her former doubles partner Blinkova in a historic 2-hour 46-minute thriller. Anna and Aryna played the longest singles tiebreak in Grand Slam history, with Anna coming out on top 22-20. Blinkova saved 6 match points, while Sabalenka saved 9 of her own before Anna converted her 10th match point to advance to the third round in Melbourne for the first time in her career. Unfortunately for Blinkova, she didn't do much after that, as she not only lost in the following round to Jasmine Paolini, but she suffered a 10-match losing streak later in the season. At number 3 is world number 123, Luca Nardi, taking down 5-time champion Novak Djokovic in the third round of Indian Wells. Nardi really wasn't even supposed to play this match. I say this because he lost in qualifying, but he received a main draw spot as a lucky loser. Nardi fully capitalized, defeating Zhang Zhizhang for his first top 50 win to set a meeting with his childhood idol, Novak. Nardi definitely played the match of his life here when he stunned the Serb with a blend of power and variety. Nardi hit 34 winners in this match, twice the number of Novak's count. Djokovic didn't look that comfortable out there. Some of that was due to the windier conditions in the desert, but also the 20-year-old's dauntless display of tennis definitely made life harder for him. Novak's frustration reached a boiling point early in the second set when he wanted a hindrance call on his opponent, and Novak was wrong on that call, by the way. Djokovic was considerably off in that opening set, but the decider was more about Nardi just outplaying him, and he deserves his full credit. This win was kind of significant, as it indicated that Novak was going to be going through a bit of a decline in form this season, and it didn't really look as if his motivations for the 1000 tournaments was as high. Nardi, meanwhile, didn't have quite the success that we imagined he'd have after the win, as he claimed just 2 tour-level main draw wins afterwards. At number 2 is Qinwen Zhang's semifinal victory over huge gold medal favorite Iga Swiatek at the Olympics. This result was massive, as Swiatek hadn't lost at the Roland Garros site since 2021. Iga was on a 25-match unbeaten run here, and she was just capping off a hat trick of titles at the Clay Slam. Iga made it clear that taking home the gold medal was going to be her biggest goal of this year, and she was rightfully the massive favorite to do so. She made it through the semifinal stage without too much fanfare, only dropping 1 set, which was to Danielle Collins in the quarterfinals. Qinwen, meanwhile, played a few marathon matches leading up to the semifinal, as she beat Emma Navarro and Angelique Kerber in 3-set thrillers. Being transparent, I thought for sure Iga would be a shoo-in to make the finals, as she was the fresher of the 2-for-1, and then also Iga had never lost to Zhang in their 6 previous meetings. But Qinwen actually got out to a better start, winning the opener, only dropping 2 games. Iga looked primed for a comeback though, jumping out to a 4-love lead in set number 2, but unexpectedly Qinwen clawed her way back, winning the final 7 of 8 games to seal the biggest win of her career at the time. Qinwen played the perfect match really. She used her heavy spinning forehand to disrupt Iga's rhythm, and then she also relentlessly attacked the pole's second serve. Iga, however, threw in a flurry of unforced errors and just did not have a solid plan B out there. This loss was very impactful for Iga. she of course broke down in tears, and it was definitely the hardest loss of her career. And while she recovered in time to win the bronze medal, I feel like this loss was the spur of the second half slump for Swiatek. She did not make another final for the rest of the year, and she ultimately let go of her 2-year coach Tomasz Wikarowski. Meanwhile, Qinwen went on to win China its first singles gold medal in tennis, and she established herself later on too as a solid top 5 player and future slam winner in my eyes. Now the top spot should come as no surprise, and that is Carlos Alcaraz's second round US Open defeat to Botic van de Zandschulp. The victory was the Dutchman's first top 3 win, and it was his first against a slam champion. Alcaraz was a 2-time slam champion in 2024 alone, winning the Channel Slam, Roland Garros, and Wimbledon back-to-back. He took home the silver medal from the Olympics, falling to Djokovic in the finals, which seemed to really take a toll on the 21-year-old. Carlitos played poorly in his opening round Cincinnati Open loss to Gael Monfils, where he did his first career racket smash. Alcaraz also looked a little bit wobbly in his opening round US Open win against qualifier Lee 2. Still, I expected Alcaraz, who was bidding for his 8th consecutive major quarterfinal, to come through. And Botic, meanwhile, he just had one slam quarterfinal appearance to his name, which came at the US Open 3 years ago. Carlos looked in great disarray to start the second rounder, not hitting a single winner in the opening set. Meanwhile, Botic was on cruise control with his booming serve and ground strokes, making the third seed look very uncomfortable. After going down 2-0, Alcaraz showed signs of a possible comeback at times, especially when he recovered from a breakdown to get a 4-3 lead, as he started smiling and getting the crowd into it. But Alcaraz's smile soon faded as his error-strewn performance and Botic's steadiness helped the Dutchman win the final 3 games on the trot. Botic has been around for a minute, and he's always dangerous, but he was struggling with poor form. Van de Zandschulp later revealed that he was close to retiring after dropping outside the top 100 in mid-April. He didn't win consecutive tour-level main draw matches in 2024 until this year's US Open. He played outstanding tennis this match and just completely shocked Alcaraz, and Carlos said that he was most surprised by how Botic didn't offer him many free points and didn't choke like he was notorious to do so for much of his career. This was Carlos's earliest loss at a major since losing at the 2022 Wimbledon second round to Daniil Medvedev. Alcaraz recovered somewhat decently after this as he won his next tournament, the Beijing 500. Botic, meanwhile, pissed off Spanish fans again at the end of the year when he beat Nadal in his final career match. He also beat Alcaraz again in the deciding Davis Cup doubles tie to send Spain home packing. That is all I have for this top biggest upsets of 2024 list. Let me know if you agree with my list in the comments below. If I'd have to give an honorable mention, it'd probably go to Olga Danilovic upsetting Danielle Collins at Roland Garros. Again, make sure y'all subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post more. I think this will probably be the last countdown video for 2024. Y'all seem to be really looking forward to 2025 and looking to the future instead of the past, so 2025 videos are coming very, very soon. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support, and I'll see you all next time here on Christian's Court.